So good afternoon and good, I guess it's the same time zone for all of us. Huh? Yeah, a joyful blessing to all of you who join us in this first session, no, of the
Thank you.
series.
Same blessings to you.
Yeah, by Father Dr. Niphot Thienvihan. By the way, he and I are of the same common descent from China, but we migrated, no? Yeah. So Father Niphot is the first son of the soil who became a Thai diocesan priest in the north of Thailand called Chiang Mai. So he's suddenly, a person of his time who is resolutely committed not to the poor, who are the Thai lowland farmers. Most of them are Buddhist, and of course, very committed to the indigenous peoples, again of the north, most of whom are primal religions, and then uplifting them from their poverty through what we call development projects. Now, there's a very missionary bishop who's very dear to Father Niphot. His name is Bishop Lacoste. Now, from him, he learned what it is to be a local church, one who walks with the poor in the mountains from village to village, learning and embracing the rich ancestral wisdom. And then he realizes more and more that their histories are not empty. And then he also realizes that the poor are not mere objects of our projects. They too are subjects of their own future. So they have converted him to the indigenous religio-cultural ways of ancestral wisdom found in their folklores and myths, which offer the people an inner power to confront their problems, from poverty like rice shortage, prostitution, addiction, the menace of money lenders and land grabbing, to the conflict between the right and the left. So my dear friends, Father Niphot was my mentor, mentoring me how to play basketball, when we were in the seminary.
Wow.
He's still my master.
50 years.
So please welcome Father Niphot, the pioneer, the visionary, the founder of the Asian School of Wisdom. Yeah. So Father Niphot, over to you.
Sawadi everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. God bless us. So I would like to apologize if this short period has been an expression of long experience. Already 50 years now, since 1970, as you mentioned that Bishop Lacoste is really my bishop who was really challenged me by invite me to walk with him up the mountains. At that period, I am decided whether I continue to follow the missions with the people or to be a lay. So he invited me to walk with him in the village, and we take one day's walk, and then after on the mountains, on the top of the mountains, we are sitting down, and he was asking me, hey, is there any Thai who would like to work like what we are doing with the poor of the poorless? That is a really inquiry question for the local young man, and he is 67, and I'm just only 23 years old. And I did not say yes or no, but I said, Bishop, I would like to use my life to answer your questions. And that I mean how this approaches. What I'm going to share with you about 45 minutes will be something short and synthesized that I would like to answer that questions. So I think that is very important for me, because he is preparing me, because since he came after he was kicked out from China, and then he come to Thailand. after Vatican II. And then he would like clearly to set up, as Father Tujo said, that how to build the local church incarnated that. So when he ordained me, before that, he within 1970 and to 75, what he really formed me, what we call pastoral training. He really asked me to really first to be with the people incarnated, to open your eyes to see the people, to open your ears to hear the people, to open your hearts to feel the people, the problems, aspirations, and sip your mouth. That's very, very, very good methodology that I really humble to walk with him and learn from the people. I think this is preparing me to, afterwards, so many years that I have to really make this shift paradigm from what the society said that the poor, the tribal are ignorance, or stupid, or poor, or sickness. They are nothing. So we have to go and develop. We are going to make them a kind of civilized. And I think that is a questioning when I see it. So that will help me, during that period. He asked me to go to work with the farmers. Asked me to go to the slum, to be with the workers, to be even to listen to the woman that is exploited, dehumanized during the Vietnam War, and really to synthesize our context of the Northern Thailand. What is our context? That if you are going to work to be with the people, this is our context. How you are formed yourself to be, and then to be kind of what we call that accompaniment with the people and dialogue with the life and search for the kingdom of God. Okay, that I think he is preparing for me for 4 or 5 years. Then after that, this is a very important that it helped me to this is a very important, no? Yeah. And then you have to go, no, to be with the people, from behind mountain. You are up the mountains, you are on the shore, and then you have to be with the people and face with the difficulties of the people. I think this schema help say that change is possible with our process of motivation. So it is motivating me and an ongoing education. So I quote this because from Laudato Si, it's really what he was asking me to be with the people. Then what happened? So through this, we start, when I was ordained, we start the process with our team, how we are going not to go and do development, what we bring about the development for the people, but how we go learning together from our team and the people. So we have been trying to use the approaches that is not indoctrinated, but a kind of being with and learning from each other. That is, we use inquiry question to help we and the people to really learn together our situation of our life. And this is a schema, the first schema that I think it's quite important for us. We are not have any answer for the people during that period that we are entering. It is we don't know at that time, 1976, that it is really a climate change. There is a drought in the northern part about 3 years that is really affected the life of the people. And the people have been really affected by that climate change drought, and also the system of exploitation of the river with the tribe and the farmers, and also with the woman, the daughter of the farmers. So on that period has been really a kind of crisis of the people. So from that point of view, we are involved, and then we are walking up the mountains in different areas, and also we bring rice to help them at the beginning welfare. But on that day, we are collecting, we are organizing some leaders to come together. So in this is very important to see how this schema inquiry question is helping us to learn among the people, and we also learn from the people. So I think this is very important that, you know, so this is things that the people, we are organized trying to bring the people from this one, this part, to this one. So we organize the people here, people from the village, come, and how we are going to discuss about our life, of community. Okay, when the people comes, and that from the difficulty, so we are using a really simple inquiry questions, because the people are not learned, no, they are not, many are not literacy. So we are asking this question, and then this process of questioning help us to learn that, first of all, the first part here, this one. This one, we ask what is that you are not satisfied in your village, and what is that you are satisfied in your village, and what is the root cause that is in the history and now. And the other one, what is that the power that support you and the other elders to solve the problem in the history. And this really amazing, this discussion about 1, 2, 3 days in the village or in our center. The people are telling, and then we are animating, helping them to see what is their life is going on. And we were asking, and they tell, what about the proverbs that they have been their own power in struggle with that problem, or folklore, of storytelling about the widows and the orphans, or the wisdom of the elders, or the people, the elders. So this part is really so important that we have learned. And it is really that this power that help them to find the things that is a root cause, and what they are not priests and that they are priests. And this is a very things that we find out that when we say that, oh, you are not stupid, you are not just only poor, you are not just behind, but you have so many things that is wise, that is a power that you help your history from a long time. So I think this is a first helping the people, and we learn. I told you especially the storytelling about the widow and the orphan. They told us about the sacred folklore of Bư Bà Chà Nè. Bư Bà Chà Nè is rice, is a sacred for the women, the widows and the orphan. And so that is a very amazing, and the story about so many things, and especially the orphan, how the people talk about the very wise of the orphan, that he is really what you call dialogue with the lords of the city, how he wins the story, that I don't talk much because we have a short time. Then we ask if they are Christian, what the kind that you teach, Christian teaching you in supporting what you are going to do. And if you are Buddhist, what is the Buddhist teaching? And if you are Muslim, there are some Muslim also sometimes. But the most thing that, because these people are the primary religions. So here we are learning that the tradition belief is something so important that we see that we are not empty. Our history has something to do. So this is a very important. Then we say, then what we are going to do? What is going to do together and how we are going to do? So I think this inquiry question is simple, but it helps the people to learn their own history and be aware and powerful, and it helps the people to be power of their own wisdom about what we call ethos. This is the things. So I think this inquiry question is the core that we learn together. After that, we think that this is a key a schema that help to go further. Okay. So yes. So in this, this one. So this thing help in this area. When we go, we act. Then we go among the village. So people, we go not only our village that have problems, and then we go others. So in this we have leaders, and then we have what we call core leaders here. This is so important that is coming up. We experience that core leaders is the core important person that is making the process ongoing. And from that point of view, this is going up. We are training from village level to among the village to the province level. So this group of the core team has been even not exposed to their own problems. They have to have experience as province level in Chiang Mai area, how the relation between the village, among village, and the situation in the northern part, especially Chiang Mai, is the capital of the north. So they see more kind of realities that we also learn from the process. And then from that, how we also understand that how the wisdom of ours is related to the problems that is not only in the village or among village and among the province and the north. I think that process is quite a long time. Okay. Okay, this is very important, the process. And when we are organizing people to make education, we are also not only learning, discussing, but we have to learn to work here. At the beginning, we have to form this. We have to form this team, the team of our work related to the leaders here. The leaders here, and we work with them and then enter into the development work. And this, when we find out the wisdom, we have meet this shift paradigm. And I think it is very important point of view how here enter into the work. We learn from the people here. And that
그래서 그
people-based, this is what we call people-based. No, not only the external, and this is what we call that we really outside and the people are inside. We have this what we call that self-critics from the way of development from outside and based on the people-based. We call people-based, cultural, religious-based of development, and that is the starting point that we are asking ourselves to create this research and training religio-cultural of the community. So the development is really have to shift paradigm into the paradigm of the worldview of the people. So development is not from outside, but from the inside. So we find out that the folklore values, this is a folklore that is helping us to change from rice bank into the rice merit, the power from the wisdom. And that is going on and on and on. It takes time. So in this step, there is action and reflection and contemplation always. Action, reflection, contemplation. So in this process of development, we discovering the wisdom more and more, and from village, among village, and to the provincial and to the northern part. So this is very important. And then we find out that this is the holistic view of the people, and the people has a relation with the people related with nature. Nature is sacred, and also there is a supreme being. So this is really the paradigm of the people, that development from outside, it cut this supreme being or the religious value. It is only human to human or human to nature, but the people thinking is the holistic will. I think this is a very complex. I think Sunthorn, since he is the son of the leaders here, so he really entered into the study very deep in this. So I think he will explain more than this. So this is a very important process, but it takes time. Okay. So this is to help you how many years that we take action, reflection and contemplation and the inner experience from within. So it goes like this. So you see, always it's going like that until it comes that this process of local church is not imposed the way of development, but it is among and walking with the people and dialogue and bring the real cultural values and help the people to be aware of their own. And then they are really empowered from within, and that this process is helping the leaders, leaders among the groups. So villages is really enter into their own. So this movement is become the movement of the people, and the people are the one who are decided to work. So this the detail is quite important. No? So evolution of the spirit-led development form and through rice donation network. This is very important through the people movement and the people's discovering wisdom and worldview of their own. And I think, and then our team from outside, and really creating the team of inside. So the core leaders and asking the insight, what we call how to set up the leaders, the person from inside who are working. So that brings to the way of formation of the OI, Yeah. Okay. Now, this is a really that the people say, hey, Father, what we are doing is that we have really how to transmit this for the generation, future generation. So that is a starting point, how we are building not a person from outside, but the young with insight, but they have to have to be trained from the vision and mission and worldview of the cultural religious. So we call that organic intellectual training. So this is to see very important. It starts actually in 1980 about this one. Okay, it's to help this process. So our the way to train OI, I really go to internet, no, from pedagogy of co-learning together, from Paulo Freire, from internet, how to concentrate the people from the grassroots. Okay, this is detail. So then the formation, I think this is very important because the young generation has to be trained because formation of organic intellectuals. We have to help them to self-analysis. We call biopsychosocial, spiritual, environmental analysis of them. So the person, because they are from okay. ไม่ใช่พอจะต้องชุด นี่ค่ะ Okay. เจพอทำ So the children, the young come from the village, but they go to education. This education is the middle class. So the formation also in this. So OI will help them to see they are not here. How we help them to be from the history, as I have been talking. What is the education of the family? What is on that? So what is their situation? Mostly the young people, the leader said, Father, our young people, when they go to study outside, they lost our roots. How to bring back? This is the formation. So we help them to, it takes time for this biosocial, psychosocial analysis. To know who they are, to know who they are. Otherwise, they will be in this, or they will be support in the upper class. So after that, they have to make an option and aspiration to go back to the village. And that is a very important. This takes time. It's about 2 or 3 years of training. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is the process of process. Okay, this is somehow how we are forming them. So first of all, analysis who they are. Enter into the village. You know, when the first time after they came to our center for 6 months, they go back home. They come back. They said, "It is the first time that I see my village." That is so important. Then we ask them to study the history of the village. Return, no? They have to study the history of the village. First, they have to study themselves. They have to go back to the village and learn and live the struggle with the people. And they have to study the village history and learn from the wise men why the people accept this, the wise man. So important. So the core leader, and the team has to be the one who is also from the OI. When they go back home, our core leaders have a duty to, with RTRC, with our team, has to work together. Then after that, they have to come back and share the experience from each other in the training center. Then we help them to understand our theology about social teaching of the church or wisdom of the people, Religio-Cultural and also primary religion. This is very important. The people, the old man has to come. The old man, the old wise man has to come, and the leadership training has to be. They have to go back and then to work in the village, and then also the program of make a research afterwards. Okay. So this is the approaches, So in order to help you to see how this approach to help the young to understand, and both OI and leaders have to go together. So we have no time. So in order to see that the process of this, I would like to see that the schema, the first schema about inquiry questions, about the program, the process, the schema, first schema, the second schema, and the program of development, and the OI. This four schema is so important in the same time. It cannot separate it. No, the first one, inquiry question from step. The second one, analysis, understand from village to villages, regional, and into provincial, or even into the national level. And also the program of development work and into 5 steps, and also the training of the OI. So on that 4 or 5 schema, it is in the same. It's not what you call the time like that, no, but it is the holistic time. So in that case, but it is so complex. No, I cannot synthesis is during this period. But after that, this is enter into. Okay. So after that, I will explain how the people enter into this current, the development work, rice bank, rice merit, and the movement. It become the movement that is as going on. Now it's already spread more than 300 or 400 or 500 villages, and even others like NGOs, like the government, ask why the current can do this kind of process and network and become the movement of the people. It is like social welfare in the Scandinavia country, that the people themselves respond to the needs, the problem of the widow, orphan, the poor of the village. So I think this is very important. This is so, and I would like to see that. So this is really the wisdom of the current, that the holistic view among religions, nature, and human. This is Bupachane, and this part with the style of this plate. When you are cooperating, it is heaven. When you are competing, this is another side. It is competing bring to death. And the death, in the tradition of the current, they are using the money in the eyes, in the hearts, in the feet, and in the hands. This means kind of bringing to hell, to competing to death. So I think this is very, very powerful, that is spread throughout the villages. Okay. So this is how co-learner together between villages, core leaders, and young generation OI. So this is a very important. Yeah. So it is. So you see the first. This is the old people. This is a young. This is OI. So they really learn together. It takes a process. No, the young also have been learning. I think this picture is so historical thing that the young people would like to learn from the elders. The elder try to transit the wisdom, the folklore, the secret, the holistic view of development from them, and they are proud of their cultures. And that is the empowerment of development from the within, from the spirituality. So this picture is really the core picture of what the process is all about. So here you see the leaders, the core team, telling the young is listening and also continuing. This you see Now here you see this one, that this Father Uta from Luweng Lana, he came, he knows that the people are doing. So Father Manat bring him and he share with the people about the what we call social, what do you call that, forums, World Social Forum, World Social Forum here. So this Rice Merit Network and bring the sharing from. So Father, I think Father Uta is really telling them your work is contributing to the social, World Social Forum is so important from the wisdom, from the values. So they are so proud, no? I think this picture is very important. Father Manat, he is really the one who formed World Social Forum, confronted Economic Social Forum, ASW, World Social, World Economic Forum. So this is, I think, confronted with this also. It is, see how our process of wisdom is really Father Manat and Father Pastoral Uta has helping us to understand. So this is a young generation to come. Yeah, okay, right. So this I will tell. So the process is in the current, and now is also the process in Lawa. Okay, and also with the Lahu, and this Lahu is, they are really what we call that the primal religion, and that is another way of approach. No, it is approach from the worldview that when they say that we believe in Kusha. Kusha is a supreme being, and when the Kusha, when Kusha create the heaven, he is the father. When Kusha create the earth, he is the mother. So when the father put the water to the mother give birth to everything, and that everything is the farmer, family. So the world and universe is like the spiral web. Everything is together, and Kusha, the supreme being, is the center. So everything is really affected each other. So this cosmology is so important. And also this is the lowland about rice merit network, about rice, 9 grains of rice, yeah, for the women. So the women group has been exploited from the development work, dehumanized by working in the city and in tourist sectors. So the woman has been dehumanized by that money and that period of what we call 60s of secular. So it's a fact. So the woman is the one who find the wisdom of 9 grains of rice, what we call 9 grains of rice, and they are using, this is money, so they use the grains of rice to cover the money. Say that 9 grains of rice is a wisdom that we are going to control the spirit of the money, so we are going to develop from that. Okay. Okay, this is a 9 grains of rice. No, the first one is for self. The second, families, neighbor, the needy, donation for the poor, exchange, donate, ordination of the people, community activity, and for the wish for the dead. And the 9th grain is to build. No, this one, to build the messianic society. And I think this is so important for the young. See, you see, this is money. So the rice cover, this is the wisdom of the woman in the local Phayao province. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So now I would like to synthesis, no? Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is very important. First of all, we have to enter the first one. We have to First one, we have to enter here. So we enter into the village. It is pushing motivation. Then we really understand, try to analysis with the people, and it is pushing motivation together. Then we start to do something we call dialect motivation. Then the wisdom of the people, the tradition of belief together. And then we enter into the inner experience of, for instance, the wisdom here. Then we go out to work again. So this is a synthesis, how the process help the people, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the wisdom, everyone have to contemplate in this one. So this is very important that we synthesize this here, about inner motivation within here. So it is written here that the people has been written here. Yeah. So okay, yeah. Here. Okay. Here, you see this. This is going on. So the process is going one after another like that. In the process, in the step like this, you have to do like that. So it will help each other to go into a movement of the people from the what we call religio-cultural communities in the process. And this is very important to help that the people is what you call it, the master of their own history, and in confront with certain outside, from the power from domain stream. Okay, so that is okay. Now I would like to stop here because we have no time, but now it comes to how we form the training for the cultural agriculture, this one. So just go on fast. First step is review of life, of the participant. It takes about 6 months or so. Contemplative, yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is here. I think it's very important. The two men here take quite some time, 5 or 6 months. And when they make a contemplate, they say that I have eyes but see not, I have ears but hear not. But now I see, I hear the sense of circuit of nature. So I think this is so important of the training. And he also say about the Mother Earth scold at me, ungrateful son, why you kill me? Because he put fertilizers, pesticides, and poison the earth. So he really aware. So all this sharing. So Father Jojo, you are here, Nayana is here, you heard about it. This process is so important from what we call the inner experience with the secret of nature. Okay. So this also there is a class about the agricultural knowledge, technique, and skill. Yeah. So they have to contemplate about the water plot and also from sharing. Okay. So they have to go to the field practice. So they have to really monitoring, evaluation of what they are doing. Yeah. So they have to go back home to work with the communities and OI and also with the leaders. Yeah. So this is what we call return the secret to the world. How to bring the secret, because the world is this enchantment. So all this to bring wisdom, religio-cultural values to return to secularize the earth that is materialistic, to give life, to bring back the Mother Earth and the secret to the earth. So this is a really synthesis of a very many groups, from many ethnic. So afterwards, we do is work on the sacred covenant. So we are going to do together how we can use our religio culture as the base approach for our development and base on religious values, cultural values, and our spirituality to bring back the sacred to the world, to bring life to the world, to be harmony with the world, to really restore the world that is destroying by the mainstream of development materialism. So the people are really committed that we are going to do together. Thank you. Okay. So I would like to say that this is very important to conclude that since 1970 to 1975, I'm preparing myself, by Bishop Lagos, and then from that 75 to 1996. So this is the work that we are working with the people or training. So the process of work, this schema, there are 4 schema to help. Then this is come to help them that we have to shift paradigm, shift paradigm. And then it is really that we have to make a kind of deep research, of our Religio-Cultural communities. That means our wisdom from the history of the people, history of the people. So that is the RTRC. So RTRC is coming from, RTRC means Research and Training for Religio-Cultural Communities. So in that, from this 1996 until 2001. So this is the RTRC, really to make, so we are supporting OI to go to be intellectual here. So there will be 5 of the people like Sunthon, Nayana, Aliyah, Prabhan, and Sister Sao. On that, they have to go to further study about the wisdom of the people, and that bring to really help the people to understand the development. And now from this, it goes from 2001, it creates ASW. So this is, so the history is like back, so it is about 50 years. So, and 50 years is for 45 minutes. Okay, I have to excuse because it's so complex. And this is already Dr. Victor has synthesized about the work on 45 years. And then this is a very important that the Bishop, Bisa 7, the Bishop of Asia, has nearly synthesized the wisdom in Asia. And also here, this is the synthesis of the Lahu, the faith of the Lahu, the Kusha Yalawe, the spirit come down to the villages. And also this is the synthesis about how the development based on the cultures of the people already written in Thailand. And here is the synthesis about, this is a synthesis about the rice merit in Buddhist community. So we are collect our research from whole work with the Buddhists, especially with the women, and especially the wisdom of rice that died for us 3 times. It is a past mystery that is in rice. The cosmic Christ is in rice. Either you are in Buddhist or either you are in Christian. And here is okay. If you would like to see that the work of rice merit network with the current and has synthesized the whole here, very complex, very systematic. So I think all this can help afterwards. And also I would like to stop here by thank you for all the people, the leaders, and if I would like to bring them here to tell how they are proud that they would like to share their wisdom. It is not dropped from the sky, it's coming from the struggle, from difficulties, and they find that the secret, the spirit in nature really revealed to them the spirit in rice, and they said that rice is sacred. If you eat rice, you have to really thanks to rice, the values of rice, thank God, and then that is bring really liberations. Thank you. Okay, so I think, I don't know, sorry if it is too fast because we have a very short time. Thank you.
Thank you, Father.
Jojo, yeah.
It's a very, very enlightening one. I can almost feel my own, what do you call, I can see myself trying to learn the wisdom from our very own primal religion we call Bobolians. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So also just to let you know that what Father Niphot has shared with you in 45 minutes of this almost 50 years of experience have been taken up in the what we call self-sufficient economy as expounded by the last king, King Rama VI. And then this methodology has been reported by somebody representing Thailand at the UN. So it was mentioned. So it's really what we call a religio-cultural method with 6 steps, and then it was practiced, practiced by the formation of OI. It is practiced at the cultural agriculture. So in one line, this methodology is about the wisdom becoming a power that is personified, by community leaders, by the OIs, organic intellectuals, and by those who undergo the formation. So with that, I would like to also ask Dr. Sunthorn. Dr. Sunthorn is on the team with Father Niphot in the RTRC, Research and Training for Religio-Cultural Community. And Dr. Sunthorn has also a doctorate in cosmic anthropology. He is now the director for the Rice Merit Network based in Doi Thong in Chiang Mai district, province, right? Yeah, he's also the executive director for the Diocesan Social Action Commission of the Chiang Mai Diocese. So he has a lot of experiences, and he has also walked the miles, with myself, with Father Niphot. So over to you, Dr. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Yes.
And thank you for the working team of ASW for provide an opportunity for sharing on rice wisdom of the indigenous people in Northern Thailand. For my points, I think I will just add some more from Father Niphot, because I think already share almost in detail from Father Niphot. So I just want to add some more from that point. Actually, there are many different indigenous people in Northern Thailand, and more and less they have similar wisdom. But this time, I just want to bring out only the wisdom of rice of the current people by the Rice Merit Network in the Diocese of Chiang Mai. Now let me begin my sharing by follow the diagram I have prepared. I don't know for the teacher, do you have my diagram? Hello? Can you hear me?
Father Jojo, you're muted.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you share your PowerPoint? So you can actually share now your PowerPoint.
Sorry, I don't know how to share from my side.
Oh, I see.
Do
So,
you have?
okay.
Do you have?
Let me check my file. Sorry, 1 minute.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So you're asking me to share it, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I got it. Yeah. So I'm going to share it. Huh? 1 minute.
I think just one slide.
It is. Yeah. It is one side. You're right. I
That
got it.
is Thailand.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Okay, Sunton, you can share this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. From the diagram, I put 5 periods. The first is the period of missionary with the evolution of rice merit network. At the beginning, at the time of the missionaries, during 1964 to 1977, that time they set up what they call a community rice farm. Why they begin with community rice farm? Because rice is a common problem among the Indigenous people, especially the poor family. And aside from the rice farm, missionary also provide the medicine for the villagers to improve health condition of the poor people at this time. That all the missionary work as a holistic mission and in all dimensions of people's life. And the second period, the period of the Diocesan Social Action Center, at this time directed by Father Niphot, and because Father Niphot is first diocese priest, and carrying out the community rice farm from the missionary. At that time we called community rice bank during the dissect period, because we borrow the term rice bank from outside. It is not really related to our culture. We're more or less related to money. So that's why in the first period, 1989 to 1999, that we changed from rice bank into community rice merit fund. It is time we are all the resources, rice or other in kind of money or cash, that are mobilized from the community, from the villages, and we are not no more support by outsider anymore. This is the whole community rice merit fund. And then the fourth period, there is a period of rice merit network, because we upgrade ourselves from rice fund and then bigger at the diocese level at the rice merit network, become a network at the diocese level. And the community, this rice merit network acts as the community welfare, especially to support the poor family, which play its roles in terms of the welfare. And then the fifth step, that is we call 2020 to 2021 onward. There is for a period of environmental restoration of the environment. And in order to respond to Lagatosi, there is the response to the cry of the earth in Lagatosi. So we have different activities provide with different children and students around the villages and also in boarding schools in the diocese. So this year we plan almost 7,000 trees in 11 villages and 6 boarding centers. This is we really go deep into put more concern on the restoration of the forest. We call plant tree, plants life. Is our gene of the campaign for tree planting. And then the other one is the practice of cultural agriculture for food safety and food security. This is follow the principle on the concept of cultural agriculture, which trained and pursued by the RCRC. And then we come to this point, we respond to the cry of the poor, because the Rice Knowledge Network, we encourage people to come back to the organic farming, especially the family farming, because we see that during the outbreak of COVID-19, it is very clear that almost the young people or the adult people who are working in the city way back to practice their own family farming. This is the survival, the alternative survival of the communities amidst COVID crisis. I think this is very clear with the people in the rural area. And now the Rice Knowledge Network, they provide rice during this 2 years, over 20 tons for the people who are affected by COVID-19, and also people are affected by the fight between Thai Myanmar border. So that is the role of the Rice Knowledge Network, very important in this time. So I think why we move from 1979 up to present time. If we, as Father Niphot mentioned earlier, there are many NGOs working with the communities, but after money finish and all the project finish, no more network. But why we can continue up to now? So we base on the 4 principles or the 4 values as the driving force of Rice Knowledge Network. The first one is we apply the teaching of the old people as community wisdom, the teaching of the tribes, the old people. And the second one is the social teaching of the church on the values of the gospel values, like we apply the multiply of bread in the Bible. That is the second main force. And the third one is we apply the values of Buddhist teaching, the 9 grains of rice, as Father Niphot showed in the slide ago. The 9 grains of rice, which means we have to share rice to others. That is the most important. And lastly, not yet slide, the sufficient economy of Kingdom 9, that is also the driving force. And lastly, Laudato Si, Francis economy or sharing economy. That is, we also discuss in our groups in the Rice Knowledge Network. And yes, we follow the term less is more. So this is the main driving force, the 4 main driving force of Rice Knowledge Network. And also we based on the proverbs, on the teaching of the current people that those, if you see in the small letter, but not clear at the end of the proverb, those who have small eat less, and the rest must be shared. When we have, we all eat together. When we do not have, we all starve together. That is the current proverb. So we realize that we cannot survive alone, but we are together, journeying together in life during the suffering of the people, especially amidst the crisis, the COVID crisis this time. So I think I just want to share by this time because we will we share more in the future that you can get. We have some short video, but maybe we will put in the website of ASW that you can follow from the website. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mark. Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Double. Finally, we have Madam Sriwan, also a Korean, and interestingly, she's also an OI, Organic Intellectual. She's the director of a Firefly Center in Chom Thong. It's rightly called Nakoli Center. This is where she will organize seminar and classes so that women from Thailand and all over Asia will come to learn the ancestral wisdom from women. How do you do natural dyeing of the textiles? And there is a process. There's a process of doing it, and you must honor the spirit of the dye. And if you don't, then it will not come out right. So that wisdom has really kept the center going. And of course, the whole cottage industry of weaving going with natural dyeing. So I'm going to share her slides with all of us. Just 1 minute.
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
Yes.
Good afternoon.
ชื่อมือดีนะคะ
Chairman Moody.
เป็นศิษย์เก่า OI จาก RTRC ปี 2010 ค่ะ
Alumni of RTRC 2010.
ก็จะมาแบ่งปันเกี่ยวกับภูมิปัญญาการย้อมสีธรรมชาตินะคะ
So we share about the wisdom of dyeing.
ก็หมู่บ้านก็เป็นหมู่บ้านเล็กๆเนาะจากอยู่ในเขตพื้นที่อุทยานแห่งชาติดอยอินทนนท์นะคะ
This village, Perth village, located in the national park with total number of 60 families.
ก็มีอยู่ประมาณ60ครอบครัวนะคะแล้วก็อาชีพส่วนใหญ่ก็เป็นเกษตรกรผลิตข้าวเป็นหลัก
The main occupation of the villagers are small village farmers.
แต่ก็มีรายได้เสริมก็จะเลี้ยงหมูเลี้ยงไก่แล้วก็มีของป่าพวกเห็ดหน่อไม้อะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะตามฤดูกาล
They earn that extra income by selling pig, chicken, and some collection of younger products from the forest, like a mushroom and baby shoot, etc.
เริ่มทำสีธรรมชาติในปี 2000 เนาะ
Our group start for dye cloth, national cloth dyeing since 2000, the year 2000.
มีวัตถุประสงค์เพื่อเรียนรู้ปริชญาณของชุมชนผ่านทางการย้อมสีธรรมชาตินะคะ
The objective for the groups learning current women wisdom through national cloth dyeing and transfer to young women in the future.
ก็เป็นภูมิปัญญาที่ผ่านบทบาทของสตรีเป็นหลัก
linking the role of the housewife to provide the platform for their children.
แล้วก็อันที่สองก็คือส่งเสริมบทบาทสตรีที่จะมีเวลาที่จะให้ลูกหลานตระหนักถึงสภาวะโลกร้อนนะคะ
And also provide opportunity for the housewife to have time with their children and also encourage their children to aware about the climate change.
แล้วก็ผลิตภัณฑ์ที่เราได้ก็เป็นการเสริมรายได้ให้กับครอบครัวค่ะ
And also some can sell their women products for family income.
ทำไมต้องย้อมสีธรรมชาตินะคะเพราะว่าสีธรรมชาติเนี่ยเราได้จากเปลือกไม้ใบไม้ บางอย่างก็ได้จากรังแมลงก็ไม่เป็นอันตรายต่อผู้ผลิตผู้ใช้แล้วก็สิ่งแวดล้อมรอบตัวนะคะ
Why they have to do natural dyeing? Because the natural dyeing come from natural plants, so not dangerous both for the consumer and also from the producer.
แม่บ้านตระหนักถึงการดูแลรักษาธรรมชาติค่ะเพราะว่าเวลาที่เราใช้เราก็ต้องดูแล
The housewife also realized the values of caring for resources, natural resources, because that are their life support system.
แล้วก็การย้อมสีธรรมชาติเนี่ยเป็นมรดกที่สืบทอดสู่ลูกหลานนะคะ
Natural dyeing regard as the heritage of the woman to hand down from generation to younger generation.
แล้วก็การย้อมสีและการทอผ้าเนี่ยเป็นกระบวนการก็เป็นงานฝีมือเนาะเป็นกระบวนการทำสมาธิอะค่ะ
Natural cloth dyeing also the process of kind of meditation. When they are doing boiling and dyeing, they are concentrate with that cloth.
เนื่องจากสีธรรมชาติเนี่ยเราได้จากธรรมชาติเนาะเพราะฉะนั้นเราก็จะมีข้อปฏิบัติในการย้อมสีก็อันที่หนึ่งนะคะก่อนที่เราจะไปเอาสีจากธรรมชาติเนี่ยเราจะต้องขออนุญาตซึ่งเราเชื่อว่าในพื้นที่มีผู้ดูแลอยู่ค่ะ
Trade dyeing. It means before going to collect the raw materials from the forest, there is a ritual that all the housewives have to follow.
แล้วก็ในการเข้าป่าเนี่ยเราต้อง
Hi, Suntan, we lost you. Suntan. Apologies, I think there is a technical error. Can you see the that was prepared by her in Thai and translated into English by Dr. Suntan? So you can see it on the screen now. She is at this point in terms of the natural dyeing color from different kinds of plants. And she was talking about contemplation as well. Then there's this thing about taboo that she is about to talk about, pregnant women are not encouraged to engage in this dyeing. Yeah. And then during menstruation, And then during the dyeing process, you're not allowed to talk or speak while boiling the plants or dyeing. So this is very interesting, yeah. In order to be respectful, no, to the dye and the spirits that accompany the process. I'll wait for them to come back, and then I just show you. I go through, and then she can tell you more about the patterns. So, as far as Dr. Sunton and his accompaniment of me and learning, he explained that, no, if you're unmarried, then you dress in white. Once you're married, then you dress in the top color is different from the bottom color. No? So in the village community, it's very clear who is married and who is unmarried. No? So you relate, as it were, looking at the attire that the women are wearing. So okay, she's back. Thank you. Sunton, you have to unmute. Sunton, yeah. Unmute, yeah. Dr. Sunton, unmute, yeah. Okay. ครับผ
ก็
ม
อันสุดท้ายก็จะมีข้อห้ามในการย้อมสีธรรมชาตินะคะ
The last point, there is the what we call like a taboo.
อันแรกก็คือหญิงมีครรภ์เนี่ยไม่ให้ย้อมสีธรรมชาติเนาะ
The first taboo is when the pregnant woman does not allow to do the dyeing.
อันเนี้ยตัวเองยังไม่เคยมีประสบการณ์เพราะว่าเวลาที่ท้องไม่เคยย้อมสี
But she has no experience before because during she was pregnant, he didn't do the dyeing at that time.
อันที่สองเนี่ยเวลาผู้หญิงมีประจำเดือนเนี่ยไม่ให้ย้อมสี
The second point, the second one is the second taboo is during the woman menstruation, does not allow to do the dyeing.
อันเนี้ยอย่างน้อย3 ครั้งที่มีประสบการณ์ในเรื่องนี้
She
สำหรับ
has
ตัวเอง
3 times experience with woman groups.
ตัวเองเนี่ยจบวิทยาศาสตร์เนาะ
She finished from the natural science, no?
แต่ว่าประสบการณ์อย่างน้อย3 ครั้งที่มีประจำเดือนและย้อมสีเนี่ยมันไม่ขึ้นจริงๆมันอธิบายไม่ได้
She has a menstruation. She do the dyeing, but the color not striking.
สีมันไม่ขึ้นหรือว่าถึงมันขึ้นมันผิดเพี้ยน
The
จาก
color
สีที่
of
เรา
the
ต้องการ
cloth totally disappear.
มันเป็นสิ่งที่ไม่สามารถอธิบายได้นะคะ
We cannot explain why.
แล้วก็อันสุดท้ายนะคะ เวลาย้อมสีเนี่ยเขาไม่ให้พูดอะค่ะ
The last taboo is not allowed to talk or speaking while boiling the plants or dyeing.
ให้อยู่ในความเงียบนะ
Everyone have to keep silence.
เนื่องจากประมาณนี้
That's all for the sharing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just showed the rest of the PowerPoint that she prepared.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is they try to relate it to the environmental issue with the student.
Good. So tableau mark, yeah, PD, yes, for sharing. So now we open this series for conversation. No, this is the time we encourage you to have a conversation with Father Niphot, or if you have any question to be directed to say Dr. Sunton and Madam Sriwan, please do so. But we would like you to engage with Father Niphot because he has a lot of experiences and wisdom to share with you. But like he said, it can't be shared, no? What is 50 years in 45 minutes, no? Yeah. So I would welcome anyone who would like to engage him in any conversation. So anybody, yeah, please feel free.
Yes, Father Niphot, I would like just to order the book.
Yes.
For the book, yes.
จริงแล้วประวัติศาสตร์
Yes.
This is the one, huh? Okay. Huh?
Yep. There was another one with the what do you call without the cover. I think you showed.
This one? This one or what?
No, one. I don't know whether you show the middle page. But anyway,
yellow way. This one.
Gray
I
color.
will,
It's a gray color.
Okay.
I will order the books.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
It's very, very similar to our fundamental cosmological worldview also here.
Yes.
Lots of similarities.
Yeah.
Mm.
We are really working with also our friend from university because when we are working action, so we said we have to make refraction and synthesis. So our friend from certain university that we are working at the grassroots together. So that book is coming from that people. So it
Good.
comes to
Yeah,
work
exactly.
together. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
exactly what is the wisdom based from the ground.
Yeah, from the ground, yes.
Yes.
The other thing is that when it comes to when we are aware of this shift paradigm, that we really aware that the history has to be on the people's hands. So that's why from OI, we really as a team support the intellectual of the people themselves. So, and that I think is so important that Dr. Sunthorn can share more about it, how the process is really build up the intellectual of the people themselves, and that is powerful. I think it's the people themselves see that they have to have their own, of course, not exclusive from the others, but they have roots, and that can dialogue with many lines of approaches. They can dialogue with many diversity in that enter into the village. So they are really wise to dialogue with that. Yeah.
It's really very true, Father, because it's very vital that they learn from the roots of yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Shirley, would you like to just raise your questions? Just speak it up. Cheryl?
Can you see me?
Yes.
I'm looking out for you.
Warmest greetings from Kuala Lumpur to everyone, especially to dear Father Niphot and your team. Yeah, I have met you in the FABC conferences in the past. You continue to inspire me, and I'm very, very happy to see that you're well. We were so scared that you were sick for a while, no? And you recovered, and you still look as good as ever, huh?
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Yes. Father Niphot, I have a question, 2 questions actually. Number one, I really am impressed with this sharing that you have given us, the movement, the change coming from the people, with the people, for a new world, a new humanity, a new earth. Yeah. So this is where I have been trained by Father Jojo and all Brother Rogers and all these fantastic theologians and sociologists and anthropologists. So this is where I wonder, you know, in connection with the very rapid secularization, the rapid consumerism, and really the terrible climate crisis that we are facing, you know, how is your people responding? Because it is very important that we work hand in hand, you know, as what you said, we have to work with the NGOs and this and that, you know, these other organizations to come together to handle this crisis. And this is one question. I want to ask your opinion on how you respond to this series of crises before us. And also, you know, it looks like the situation to come is not very promising. So how do we respond collectively as a people of God? And the second question I want to ask you is about the 9 grains of rice. I'm really impressed with that. I really like that, you know, that it has so much to teach us.
Yes.
And I wonder whether you can elaborate more on the messianic society to come, the 9 grain of rice.
Yes.
And I really like this, you know, that all the faith believe in the new, what shall I say, the coming of the kingdom, yeah, the messianic society to come. Please help us to elaborate, Father Niphot, if you don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you. The first question, I think, is stir up all the people in the world, you know, how our approaches from this wisdom and linear cultures of the grassroots faced with that. I think
Yes.
that is so really crucial situation point, that how our what you call wisdom from the ethnic or ethnicity and indigenous face that. I think first of all, I think it's so important. It's the roots that will change the people, because the root cause of the ecological crisis is already coming from the modern way of materialistic, you know, the secularizations.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that is cutting out what we call that they are doing disenchantment of the world. They kick out the meanings, the values, and the secret of the world until the world is materialistic. Nature become resources, become commodity, and become money. So they are correct money, and money become adultery, you know, by this.
Yes.
So I think that is so important, and say, so when we come into our cultures, that is very important to question that. So the process, all this process of Religio-Cultural sacred, return sacred to the world, when we synthesize, it means that we re-enchantment of the world. That is the very, because the modern is disenchant. From the cultural values, we are re-enchant even to make a dress. So we have to enter into the sacred, into the cloth. Now everything has sacred, has a meaning, has values. And the values is what we call external values and internal values. So that is very important. So I think this is a root cause when our young people and the people have seen that, oh, the modern seems to be what we call that there is a candle, very sweet outside, but the poison is in behind. This is what the ethnic people, the current said, oh, it seems very sweet, but when we suck and it become poison, and now we are. So that is what they express by kind of metaphor, no? So we have to be really, and the people said, hey, Father, there is a say that there is one big in the forest, a big tree, and one day there is one tree comes and asks, hey, can we stay with you one night? And that tree, say 1 night, 1 week, and become 1 year, and become and one come and make the big tree die. So they see that in the forest, hey, we have to be careful, no? That way of thinking. So this kind of metaphor that the people really say. And the second one that's very wise. The people says, no, that why money is dangerous. Because the story say like this. One day, our village surrounded by bamboo, and Burmese troop come, and in order to cover us, and many months they cannot enter into the village. But one day, one soldier used the coin, the money, just throw, in the surrounded, and the people inside cut the bamboo and get the money, so the troop can come in. So this the story of the current. Say, hey, be careful, because we are doing a very defend ourselves, but we ourselves are greedy to get money. That is bring death to us. So the story like that of the people is really help us to see why, if we would like to enter into this thing, we have to be very prudent, wise from the history, from the folklore that the people were asking us. But now, since we come up with this, return the secret to the world, re-enchantment. Now we have networking, we call globalization from below. Now, there is a globalization from above. That is creating the crisis of ecological crisis. Now the world is going to come together, what we call the globalization from below, from this re-enchantment secret to the world. So the people from, especially when the Pope was asking, and other NGOs and those who are really concerned about ecology, so they come together. And this is that we have to bring back the worldview of indigenous and of the indigenous and ethnicity to really together, because we have a way of alternative worldview to solve the root cause of the problem. Now, this is something that we are. So for the second, it is very wise for us, because we are working about 9 grains of rice, I think it is also beautiful, because since 1960s, Thailand has declared what we call that the secular 60s. They use the word, ngan, work is money. Money is work, bring happiness. So this slogan forced the women to work in the city, in the industrial, and some people was forced to work in certain sector, what we call sexual sector, because of that period of Vietnam War, the American War. So a woman has been forced to work to serve the GI and soldiers from anywhere. So the people, especially the women, has really suffered dehumanized. And after we have been working with, as we work with the current, and we work with lowland in Chiang Mai and Phayao, so it's really a cry of the woman. And we are really the team there, and we help to organize that what we are already say, how we analyze the situation. Then the people find out that, hey, we have our wisdom of rice is something. So we bring that. I will explain to you. The women themselves searching for 9 grains of rice, and that 9 grains of rice, the rice has 4 values. First of all, that's why we call re-enchantment. The first value is consumer, external values, give us life. The second value is to exchange with the others necessary for home. Second is the external value. But there is also another 2 values, the values of culture. That's why, the modern destroy, disenchantment, another two values. That means the cultural values, the values that rice has spirit. We call Kwan. Kwan is essence of life in rice. So that is the cultural value experience of the farmer that rice has life. Essence Kwan is a spirit. The fourth values is the values we call religious values, because rice died for us that we live. And that for our Christianity, we said rice embodiment of Paschal mystery of Christ, of Jesus. So rice is a symbol, a sacrament of cosmic Christ in there. The word, the values is embodiment in rice. So when we eat rice, not just only the two, the external values, but we have to eat the third and the second at the same time. So that I think is the core of the values. This is a wisdom of women and the farmers of the North. And we really, what you call, integrated with the current, because the current also have that when the women of the lowland. So this is really empower for kind of tradition of the current, the Christian and the Buddhist together. That is really move the spirit of Rice Movement Network or the Buddhist network of rice. So now the woman is say, hey, money is really covered, dehumanized. So now we would like to use this rice to cover the money. I will give you that. So they explain that rice is first one for the person. When you eat, now the first grain is for oneself, but you have not to eat only the outside, you have to eat the inside, the intrinsic values. The second for the family to unite. The third is for our, what you call the clans, the relatives. The fourth is for our friend. The fifth one is for the needy. The other one for exchange. The other one to build the communities. The second one, the third, the seventh one is to ordain person for religious instruction. The eighth grain is to offer from our ancestors who died to the priest or to the monk in the temple or in the church. And the ninth grain is so important that rice is to help us to build the community of Messiah. So you have to use all that now it is this to cover the money. So this we are campaign that rice has a very important now. I presented to the Asian Mission Congress. Of course, Catholic believe Jesus in Eucharistic, but rice also as a sacrament of universe, the secret of the universe. So this is very important that how the Buddhists, how the current, how the local people are using. So they say that we have to use the grain of rice to cover the money because we have to use money, but we have to cover money with our spiritual values with it. So that is the thing. Okay.
ขอบคุณค่ะ Father Niphot. I really treasure it. You know what? Reflection I wrote after I listened to the talk. Eating rice now is being one with the divine.
Yes, that's it.
Communion with the saints, the people who have departed, the nature. We are really one. Yes, everything. Really. Thank you for teaching me something very special. Now I eat rice. With a special.
I said that it is the voice of the woman. The woman has a very deep mother giving life to the others. So, but only not giving, but they are reconstructed because money dehumanized me. So now I cover you. So the woman is very powerful in our area, because now the group in this one has really motivated, very important. So I think this way of people theology woman is very coming back with the man. No? So the rice merit network with the current is both men and women in the communities. So they are really moved into using this wisdom of the tradition to reconstruct now in front of this crisis because of that barrier. So this to answer that we can do something because we have riches of Religio-Cultural heritage, a power for us to reconstruct a new world. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish Pope Francis can hear you, you know, because last time, you know, when John Paul II said the whole problem with the world is because of the eclipse of the sense of God in the world. And now hearing you, I see Laudato Si personified. Thank you, Father Niphot. Thank you so much. God bless you and your team.
Okay. Thank all the team, and the people of the
Yes, and your team, yes.
the people and all that's help us. We are evangelized by the wisdom of the people.
Right. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes. So I would like to say that you know, this is really the Missio in German was asking us to really evangelize the German materialism. They eat rice only material. Why they don't eat the values of rice also? So I have been for 3 months to tell the story like this, no? To tell the story for the young people on the Rhine River. So many villages, many churches. So they are saying, hey, now we see the secret in the world. Okay, like that.
Thank you.
Okay, the word of God really.
I will remember you, Father Niphot, when I eat rice.
Yes.
And pray for you and your people. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we still have time until about 6, you know. So we do welcome any one of you who would share comment or ask a questions. You're most welcome. Yes. Anybody? Feel free.
Jojo, I'd like to ask Father on this matter.
Yes.
Boleh kah?
Boleh.
Okay.
Yeah. From.
Wait a minute. I'm Michael. I'm from Sarawak.
Okay, Sarawak. Okay.
Yeah, Borneo.
Oh, sorry.
I'm an activist at this moment. Father, I've listened to you just now. When you know, in the past, when we were colonized by the European, our life was based on rice. So rice to us in Borneo was very special. So as you said, you have 9. I think that is very, very good. So therefore, because we respect or great honor for rice, the paddy, therefore we give a great respect to it. Therefore, we cannot do anything that is, we cannot offend it.
Yes.
The problem is when the European came here, they said that we are enemies.
That's it.
Now you're talking about it now. So I think basically the new form of evangelization now is, you know, we're talking about our culture. Now people, I think as you say just now, the church now look more into the beauty of being indigenous. I mean, we have a lot of good culture, a lot of good practices, which are very much gospel-oriented, though it was not mentioned much earlier. But now we look at it, as you mentioned some just now, I think that's very good. So I'd like to know more about that spirit of the rice.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. That is our struggle. How, because the entrepreneurs from Europe, when they come to understand, study our race, our indigenous, they said we are animists, no? We are believing in the animists. So that entrepreneurs that time spread in Europe and become animist, means we believe in ghosts, no? The bad, something devil. So it become in that way. So that's why when our former belief also accept that things that our traditional values is related to idolatry, belief in false gods, or bad spirit, and that one we have to avoid. So I think that has been before Vatican II, and I think Vatican II has really changed that way of thinking. But it's not easy because I give you first schema, no? The schema, that the first one. So that when I ask whether what is your folklore, spirit, and proverb, and your primary religion is, so that, and also the teaching of the church and all that. So in that way, we have what we call that creative tension at that time. So anyway, we are learning, not the process of learning. And then after that, we separate between the tradition of the people, the belief in the spirit, the word in Thai we call Pi. Pi means the spirit, what you call ghost or the Holy Ghost, no? So we have to separate between the bad and the good one. The spirit of nature is good one. The spirit of rise. So slowly we learn from that. Now I think that very important that we learn that. And I asked my friend from SOAS, London University, professor in London University. I asked him, Professor, what does it mean, Kwan? He said in English, there is no word like Kwan. There is a soul or spirit. Kwan means essence of life. Wow, I said, good. And that sense that Kwan is not Pi, is not bad spirit, is essence of life that is already embodiment in rice. So rice has life. And that related to what we call that the word has been created. Everything is created by the word of God. So the word of God is in everything. So everything has life. So in that relation with that text of John, Gospel of John, chapter 1, no? So it comes now, we say, hey, now the people themselves, they experience that when the rice dug down the land, it died and it grew up. The first one died. The second one, the farmer harvest, it dies, another one. So the straw buffalo can eat and have life. And then the grain, when the people grind it and boil it, and it died for us to eat. So that what we experience, that really that kind of Paschal mystery, that die to give their people, the others to live, actually it is in nature, and nature have that secret. Then when I explain like this, no, also I mentioned in Asian Mission Congress, no, about 15 years in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. So I present this. So many people say that is, we are proclaiming already cosmic Christ in the cultures of the people. And the people have experienced that values and the secret here before Christianity already. So now that FAB said, we have to accept what we call kingdom values in the culture and religions of Asia. We have what we call that the cosmic, the gospel value. So when we enter and we dialogue, we have to learn from that, and then we understand now, and that's what we are. So the gospel values and the kingdom values made a very marvelous work in Rice Merit Network. It spread more than 500 villages in the village of the current. It spread a lot in the province of Phayao. And even my friend, the Buddhist, called me, hey, Father, how the current could do it? How the people could really see to it, take care of the women, the poor, the needy, and none of the needies and the widows and the orphans are really starving among the current. They are really set up this kind of social welfare like in Scandinavia. How the current could do it? I said, because of the belief, because of this value system that the people really believe that when they share life, their rights, as Dr. Sunthorn said, they are really practicing merit. So I think that kind of spirit. Then I think you have to read about the FABC in the Office of Theological Concern. In one sector, they said, hey, we Christians have to really about this negative point about the cultures of the people. And then we have to immerse and learn from the way of life. And then we have to change that. We have to accept that there is this kind of what we call that, we have this kind of what you call wisdom values. So this book already printed out about the cultures, the Religio-Culture, the power of human development in Asia of the FABC and the BISA 7. Now it's already, but it in Thai. So the bishop in Thai and the others say that, hey, we, the bishop say, we have to be evangelized by the kingdom values that is in the history of the local people. And that is the FFC approach of dialogue church. So I would like to say that this is already more than 30 years that the bishops of Asia has synthesized. So it record in the Office of Theological Concern of the FABC. Thank you. Okay. So I hope that the church in the local church slowly have to learn from the people, and especially at our friend from just now said, we have to learn by our person, and that when we eat rice and we really contemplate that rice really give us, like it's not a bad thing, it is really give life and everything. And I train the OI, the first thing that when I come, in order to make them to aware about what the villagers really have feed them. I say, how many years of you? They are about 20. I said, I asked them, how many rice that you have eaten? They never think before. Never. That every day you have 3 meals. 1 year they have about 1,000 meals of rice. 10 years they have 10,000. 20 years. So I said, hey, rice life is already in your life for 200 to 200 what you call that, 2,000 time in that. So make this kind of meditation. The young OI really go back home and they say, oh, now I will really learn from the wisdom of our ancestors. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So with this last sharing, maybe we can draw this to a close. This recorded session will be emailed to you if you leave me your email. There are some requests, but please go to our website. It is asianschoolofwisdom.org. We will upload it there. But if you send me your email, definitely I'll send it to you personally. And then just a couple of announcements. One, there is this core learning series with like 6 to 7 sharings. So we will keep you posted. The next one is October 9 by Dr. Alin Natoyat of the Asian Social Institute. She will actually talk about the intergenerational transmission of ancestral wisdom, based on the indigenous ways and the methods of the tribe. And then October 23, that means in October we have 2 sessions, by Madam Laurie Victor. She's from the Kanganai tribe. So we have up to February people who are indigenous to share with us how wisdom can be transmitted, can be learned and taught from generations to generations. And then we also, from next year onwards, we will feature what we call the 5 lecture series. So just 5 lectures. So we try to get that going by next year. And then I have also had a conversation with Father Niphot, who said that by next year, we would go deeper with those who would like to learn about this religio-cultural methodology, and that we will ask people to really listen to the stories and the wisdom embedded in those stories, in those folklores. And then we would give you like Bible passages. We will ask you to do contemplation. So we are thinking like maybe in 1 month, 2 sessions, so you have time to really pray. Yeah, the word we use is contemplate. Yeah. So the last thing is that there is an Envision International seminar. We are just in the talking stage. We're just talking about it. That we would think of a theme like, the future is indigenous. Nurturing wisdom-inspired civilization of futures. Something like that. So we want to keep you posted what we are deliberating, what we are just thinking aloud together. So finally, on behalf of all those 33 participants in this session, we would like to really extend our sincere gratitude and prayer and blessing to Ponipot. Yes, thank you. Kapung Kap, Ponipot. And then double doma to Dr. Sunthorn. Double doma to P. Mudi, our Madam Sriwan. So, for Chua Claire, double doma.